Hi, I'm Mark Wilson, the Engineering Heretic, and today we're just going to look at a very short video on counterbores and how they work and what I do as far as counterbores is concerned. In industry, over the years I've bought many sets of counterbores and I've used them extensively. But in my home workshop and for specialist jobs, I've always relied on modifying things and making counterbores up myself to suit specific jobs. And just a couple of examples here. This one here was a counterbore that I've actually modified. I can't remember what for. It obviously needed something small on the front of it. Some of these here, like this one here, which is just a drill that it got too short. I machined the shank down to suit my D-bit grinder. I've ground the pilot on there, and when these drills get short, this bulks up quite markedly, so they actually become a counterbore. They modify to a counterbore rather easily. Then I've sized the outside diameter to suit the size I want. Now I use a flaring cut wheel on my D-bit grinder to grind these things, and I'll deal with that in another video. But that's just one I've done. That one there, I've written on the side of it what it is. That does a 932 clearance for I believe for a 932, no it's 932, that's the clearance size. But it says there quarter EP, that's a quarter ejector pin for an injection mold. So that's a modified one that I made out of a drill. These ones here, this one does it's a counterbore made, this is made from a slot drill, and I've ground this down. This one here says BS117 O-ring, and this one cuts an O-ring groove in I think the pilot's written down there, I think it's an 8mm. What is here? Says on there 6mm pin, so I drill a 6mm hole, and I go down to a depth written there 1.4mm deep, and that will do O-rings on transferring waterways from one insert to another on injection molds. I have a whole bunch of drills here that I've modified over the years. They're all sorts of crazy things. Some of them I can't even remember what they were for. That was for something or other. Some I've modified from drills, and I usually write on the side of them what they are. So I don't actually buy counterbores, I make them up myself. On the larger sizes, I actually even make these types of things. This one here is it's in Silver Steel or 01. I've machined it up, drilled and tapped an M6 down the back for a grub screw, and I've made up a little quarter round cross drilled hole, and I've got a quarter round bit of tool steel there and I can actually vary the size of this particular one to suit whatever size I want. I can't remember what that one's for, but that's just another one I've made up. For the larger ones, and I've actually gone out and made huge ones for the heads on injection molds for guide pins and bushes, and I've gone out to something like about 2 inches or about 40mm, and once again put a little cutter in there with a grub screw up the guts of it, and made myself a counterbore for those sorts of things. This particular one does a bronze bush in an injection mold ejector plate. I buy specific bronze bushes, and I put a circlip for a head on the bush itself to restrict it, and this one here will do the circlip relief for the circlip, so I can put it in there with a circlip for a head, and that one there, and I can just use this on a radial drill or a mill, it doesn't really matter. Drop it in the hole and run that pretty slow, and that is also a counterbore that I've made up myself. I think this one was EN36A, and I've got that case hardened. This one here is Silver Steel or 01. I just heat treat the pilot on there, and they work rather well. And that's what I do for counterbores. I'm a bit of a stinge, I suppose, but that's just what I've done over the years, and I've have no real need to buy anything when I have, you know, lots of drills that I want to modify, and, you know, old drills that I can modify and make whatever I want. And that's my selection of counterbores. And I'm Mark Wilson, and thanks for watching.